Hey everyone, Anthony here. Today we are taking a look at what I think is the most crucial video tool to own in 2025. If you're somebody working behind the camera, shooting content, discussing really any type of products or anything like that, weddings, documentary, or any kind of storytelling, with the exception of course, maybe like vlog type content where you need to be super compact, I think this is a must own. So here is a few reasons why the Atomos Shinobi 2 is one of the best video tools you should own. So let's dive in. The Shinobi 2 comes with some really key monitoring tools, and this monitor allows you to ensure that you're never really under or overexposed via a few key things that all monitor tools really have. If you know about what makes a great monitor and all the tools that they offer, I'm going to put chapters on this video so you can kind of skip ahead to that next chapter to see what's new on the Atomos Shinobi 2. But for those who don't know, so on all monitors, you're gonna have things like waveforms, histograms, and vector scopes. This is all standard stuff, but focus peaking and false color is generally my two favorite and most used monitoring tools because few cameras have good focus peaking. Sony right now has this like weird looking color display that is really key and easy to see what is actually in focus, but the other cameras that have focus peaking are kind of hard to see on these small LCD screens, and that focus peaking feature is kind of dull. On the Atomos, you can turn on 3 levels of focus peaking to make it more or less visible and choose the color that you actually want that focus peaking to display in. If that's still hard for you to see, then you can turn the whole screen black and white. Then it will just display the focus peaking in the color in which you selected. I like pink because not many things in the real world are pink. Something like red or white might be like a little bit too common. So pink for me is the go-to, and you could view what's actually in focus. But it's nice that you can change this to whatever you like. False color is only a feature included in some Canon cameras. On the new Panasonic S1R Mark II, they crushed it with this. This is, in my opinion, the best way to gauge quickly what's underexposed or what's very overexposed, because you can clearly see like red or yellow, this is totally clipped or overexposed, and the blue or the purple is dark or totally underexposed. There also is a zoom in function that's really key for macro photography. Frame lines are also key and easily changed on an Atomos, and there's an anamorphic de-squeeze option on this Shinobi 2 as well, which is really helpful. So that's everything that most monitors are going to come with, and these tools make it so helpful to make sure that you're actually getting things right in camera. So let's go over what's new and what other features stand out to make this Atomos Shinobi 2 an amazing video tool. So on the Shinobi 2, you're gonna see your HDMI port and then a USB-C port. This is so key because the USB-C port is used to control your camera. If you shoot with some of the most popular models, I'll include a screen recording of the current list of cameras compatible with the Shinobi 2, but check out Atomos's website to get the most up-to-date information if you're kind of watching this video later on down the road. I'm gonna include a link in the description for you to quickly go check that out. So now on the Shinobi 2, we can adjust settings such as like white balance, aperture, shutter speed or shutter angle, and ISO directly from the monitor's touchscreen. And additionally, that monitor can also trigger recording to the SD card of your camera and display camera status indicators, including battery life and record time. I think this is so sick, but the camera settings are not the only thing that you can actually control. We now have a tap to focus feature, which is so key because on previous monitors, you're always kind of bouncing back and forth between the monitor and the LCD screen. Right now on the Atomos, on the Shinobi 2, you could just focus on that monitor and it just feels like your eyes are locked in onto the monitor and what you're actually capturing. The shooting experience here is fantastic. The Shinobi 2 comes only in a 5-inch variation at the moment. One of the major improvements on this Shinobi 2 is that the monitor has 1500 nits of brightness. That is 50% 30% brighter than the predecessor and 30% thinner. This monitor only weighs 210 grams. This is essentially as light as 4 Snickers bars, and this monitor is not thicker than a Snicker, for those of you who are wondering. This monitor is futuristic in its technology, but like early 2000s supermodel slim, like Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time kind of era, there is nothing thick about this monitor, and that's with a double C. Take a look at this side-by-side comparison between my Ninja, which is essentially the same size as the previous Shinobi. The slimness is one of the top features on the Shinobi 2, that is for sure. In fact, this monitor is so thin you can't even fit that 3/8 inch screw hole on the bottom of this monitor, so mounting this monitor onto a camera rig will require a monitor mount with a 1/4 inch thread. Check out the newest SmallRig accessories, some I personally actually picked out myself on henrys.com. I'll include the link in the description to some of the SmallRig accessories down below. The drop in weight and the enhancement of brightness makes this monitor clearly visible even in direct sunlight. It's such a joy to carry around for long shoots outdoors, no problem. The monitor has 10-bit color depth and a wide color gamut. It supports HDR monitoring as well, so the screen looks bright and beautiful even when getting blasted by sun. So are there any downsides to shooting with the Atomos Shinobi 2 or just the overall experience? Well, when you plug the monitor into a camera via the USB-C, you lose the ability to charge your camera while shooting. This might not be like a big deal for some people because you could just not adjust your camera settings for a short period of time when charging your camera, but it is unfortunate that there wasn't a way to charge your camera while having it plugged into the Shinobi to maintain control over your camera as well. I do like charging my camera when the battery is getting low. The other slight hiccup is when you load LUTs onto the Shinobi 2. If your SD cards are too fast, you might run into trouble loading user LUTs, which make viewing video so much more exciting because you're essentially able to view a near final result on the screen. The same thing goes for when updating the firmware. It's not really a downside to this monitor, it's just more of something that you might get tripped up on when you're first getting started with this monitor. A slower SD card is needed, and most video shooters are using something like this Sony TUF V60. That was too fast when loading those LUTs or firmware onto the Shinobi 2, so that is something to keep in mind. Not really a downside, but it's just something that you should know. So let's talk accessories. On our website, henrys.com, you can now order a number of SmallRig accessories to rig up your camera like I have here. I believe this type of camera setup is the best for shooting video. Unless you're trying to vlog and be compact, then obviously this is gonna be way too big. But somebody who is working behind the camera, this is the way to go. So there are a number of SmallRig accessories that would allow you to create something like this. And mid-May, we're actually getting a huge shipment of SmallRig gear. I'm excited to start building out more camera rigs like what I have made for work with Henrys. The only other thing that we do carry a lot of in stores and is kind of underrated is V-mount batteries. Now, SmallRig makes a number of popular V-mount batteries, but Shape is another good brand that we carry, and I own 2 of these. So what these do is this allows you to use the Atomos DC connector and run the monitor off of just a larger battery. I have the 98 watt hour battery and a 135 watt hour battery. My preference is that 135 because I could just run my camera and the monitor for like 2 full days of shooting off of a single charge. These V-mount batteries will have a DTAP plug. This is for the monitor and the extra USB plug, so you can charge another device like your camera off of one single V-mount battery. So SmallRig does have a number of other different plugs on their V-mount batteries, like a DC port, a USB-C port, a USB-A port, but a lot of people choose to run their monitors off of these Sony MPF batteries, and these are good, but they add a lot of bulk to that monitor and throw the camera off balance a little bit, especially when it's all rigged up. It's the more compact option and the more affordable option, but rigging your camera up does cost a little bit of money, but the ergonomics and the distribution of weight in this type of rig that I have feels great when shooting handheld or like on a tripod. I've used both options, and I prefer the V-mount route, so you could run things for longer. But if you're looking for the most compact option, then the Sony FP NPF batteries is the way to go. I think this V-mount and Atomos combination is the best. I will never shoot video for work without this type of rig, unless we're trying to go like compact and vlog or something like that. So these are the key tools that allow you to nail exposure and nail focus every single time. So that's all for me, my friends. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Check out the links in the description, because this is truly one of the best video tools that you can get in 2025. My name's Anthony, and I'll see you in the next one.